Good morning, RLT, and everybody out there in watching on YouTube. Do me a favor. Hey, Tony. Okay, you can obviously hear me. I was going to say, give me a one if you can hear me okay, but clearly you can. Happy Friday, everyone. What a crazy, crazy time in the market, huh? I mean, yesterday, just insane. Morning, Chad. Let's see. Let's give everyone another minute or so to join the room. Let me close out the screen. Give me a second. Just getting a couple screens set up here. And then we will take a look at the markets. All right. Good morning, Ron. Okay. So, Albert, good morning. Yeah, yesterday was insane. Okay. Let's take a look at the market. So, obviously yesterday at one point we were down. Wait, you don't need to see this. Let me get this out of here. Let me move this over here. We've got DJ Dan joining us now. Not sure where that just went. Okay. But yeah, anyway, yesterday would have been gigantic down day at one point, and then it got just bought up. Let's take a look at, I'm going to expand some of these charts. We'll just dive into the overall markets real quick. Let's take a look at the S&P first. So S&P, just take a look at, I'm going to extend my trend line over here. Okay, so we still have this trend line that is above us, right? So we just want to bear in mind that, we're still making, lower lows and lower highs, right? So, have we found the bottom? Was yesterday the bottom? I mean, who knows? We'll find out, right, in time. But we still have a ways to go before we get back up to this trend line. Then, of course, we need to be able to break through that trend line and hopefully resume or start moving bullish at some point. I mean, look, the market can keep going down, right? There's nothing that says that it has to bounce here, but yesterday was a pretty solid day in terms of buyers stepping in and pushing price up. What's interesting here is if we zoom in a little bit here. So, we had this previous low here, and then we made a new low yesterday. But if you look at the MACD, right down here, we actually have a bullish divergence. So if you if we look here, right, just slight. So we're making a lower low, yet the MACD here is not dropping. You would see the same thing on RSI as well. So anyway, what does that mean? Well, it means potentially that could be a bullish divergence, that we could bounce out of here. Likely we will bounce out of here. The question is, again, once we get up into this trend line here, is that going to then force price back down? We'll have to wait and see. Get rid of this line. And same look here on the NASDAQ. Again, lower low, right? But yet we are slight bullish divergence here on the MACD. So, and if you look at those candles from yesterday, right? Nice looking hammer candles. Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Hector. So nice hammer candles. So, and I mean, that is clearly some strong buying here, right? And then if you look at, and we're going to take a look at the individual tickers as well, but lots of, if you look across the board, a lot of bullish engulfing candles. So speaking of, obviously, we would then go over here to the SPY in the Qs here. And here's your bullish engulfing, right? And so, and again, also this bullish divergence down here on the MACD. Nice volume here on the SPY. If you are somebody who trades bullish engulfing candles, so this is one of those Fridays where we are we slow things down a little bit. It's a beginner Friday. We focus more on some beginner concepts. But if you're relatively new to trading, you'll learn a little bit here about the candlestick formations. But this is a bullish engulfing pattern. So what we have here is a bullish candle that is completely engulfing the bearish candle from the day before. Nice bullish reversal pattern, especially when you're seeing it at the bottom of a move. And clearly we're at the bottom of SPY here, making the new low there. So, a nice look in terms, it's a really nice bullish candle, right? You have a little bit of a wick down here, a little bit of a wick down here, but overall, really strong close. And again, you've got nice volume to go with it, and this bullish divergence down here on the MACD. If we go into the Qs, again, we're going to have a similar look. So again, bullish engulfing candle, and the day prior, right? So what did we have the day prior? We had a doji candle, right? So small candle, not a lot of volume, so a lot of indecision there. And then yesterday, boom, big bullish engulfing candle. So again, what does that mean? Well, it would indicate that we have potentially found the bottom, and we are going to be moving bullish out of here. So, but again, we have some overhead resistance. We have some levels we have to break through. Again, bullish divergence down here on the MACD, really nice volume. Looking at the market in terms of just this, a 5-minute chart on the S&P and 5-minute chart down here on the Nasdaq. So we did get a nice little pop just before we started the webinar. Hey Joe, happy Friday. So I'm not sure what caused that pop, but suddenly, we started pushing out of this. We were kind of moving around here in this range, and then we just suddenly just broke out of there. Somewhat of a shooting star here, but some nice strong move here. So we'll have to watch this level, see if it comes back down here, holds this level, and comes back up. Same thing here on the Nasdaq, right? So nice strong pop, and it happened quickly. So there must have been news. Do the engulfing candles usually retrace at all? So Jennifer, just for clarification, you mean, so would you expect the bullish engulfing candle to retrace a little bit? Is that what you're asking? Just for, yeah. So they can, certainly. Let me go back to, let me zoom in here. Okay. Let me zoom in on both of these. So typically when I see a candle that closes that strong, now there is a little bit of a upper wick here, right? You get a little bit of an upper wick. When you get a candle that doesn't have the upper wick at all, definitely I expect some type of maybe a 20 to 30% retracement the next day, but that's not a lot of an upper wick. So could it retrace today? Absolutely. Could pull back a little bit, right? So especially, so think about we had a bullish day yesterday. It looks like we're going to be gapping up on the SPY and the Qs. So Jennifer, then question for you, right? So bullish candle gapping up. What kind of a gap do we have there? Yep, exactly, right? So it's a retest gap, right? So retest, you do expect it to retest. Now, the question is, how much will it retest? And we could, look at some of the daily levels here, maybe right through, let me get a line on here. So if we look at the daily levels, right? So that clearly would be a strong level right through here, right? So you've got prior support becomes resistance, support, resistance. So at this point, right, that could be a level that it could retrace to. So Doug's posting core retail sales came in positive. So, okay, that must have, well, that was 8:30. This pop happened, what time was that 8:30, 8:40? Okay, so maybe that was it. Maybe that was what caused the pop in the markets. But anyway, so if we just look at this level here, that could be a level that we retrace into before we're going back up. Zoom in a little bit here. and again, somewhere in here, could go a little bit lower. So again, not exactly a shaved top. There is a little bit of a wick up there, but a shaved top candle, I do, especially with that much buying, there's going to be people instantly profitable this morning when the market opens. So there is going to be some profit taking. It's a Friday. People are going to want to go into the weekend positive. So, yes, I do expect there to be some selling initially. And that could be the retest down to those levels. So you would just keep an eye on them. All right, let's take a look at, and Jennifer, I just want to make sure, did that answer your question that you posted about retracing? It's not so much the engulfing candle as much as it is just the, you're welcome, just as much as it is the sentiment of that candle, right? A lot of buying and we're going to gap up. So it's not so much that it's the engulfing candle that would, that I'm referring to, just the overall sentiment of that candle, all that buying yesterday, plus a gap up this morning, people taking profit, that will cause the retest. Okay. I will switch over. Let me go to pull up a different chart here. All right, let's take a look at our 10 EMA tickers. Let me switch my screen. All right. Well, Kroger is not one of them. I was just going through a list of gap ups and gap downs, and Kroger was on there. So there's we'll take a look at the gap up and gap downs if we have time. But there's not much in terms of the gap down. There's a couple, but to be expected, right? But nothing that I've found is clearing yesterday's price action, right? Well, Kroger got kind of close pre-market, but it's back up into here. But so I haven't seen anything in terms of a gap down that is clearing yesterday's candle. So why would I be looking for that? Well, the market's moving up. So if there was something, and everything was bullish yesterday, right? So if there was something that was bullish yesterday that was gapping down below yesterday's candle while the market is going up, so that would be something that would be doing the opposite of the market. That would interest me, because that would show that that's definitely something that's weak, right? So Jay says plug. Yeah, I saw that plug was gapping up, right? That was over here on my, I've got my gap up and gap down. You can't see it, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff gapping up. But I did see plug up there before. I'm not seeing it right now, but yeah, I did see it earlier. All right, let's go through our 10 EMA charts. I also saw that Delta was gapping up. There it is. Yeah, it's up almost 3.5% right now. We'll take a look at that. Let's go and look at NVIDIA. Okay. All right. Daily chart here. Now, I just have this on a 5-minute. I will be switching over to the 3-minute when the market opens, and because that's for the 10 EMA strategy, those are the 3-minute charts are what we're trading off of, right? So 3-minute with the pre-market on, I'll switch this to a 3-minute with the pre-market off. Those are the charts that we use for the 10 EMA strategy. But for your pre-market analysis and just your pre-market planning, we're going to work off a daily chart here. I just keep this on a 5-minute. I could go 15-minute as well, just trying to establish levels. So we're made a new high here. Okay, so I have to adjust this. These orange lines. Sorry, I'm turning the ringer off my phone. These orange lines are the pre-market high and pre-market low. So I'll just move this up here. So we did break through. Over here, this is our daily chart, right? So on the daily chart, green lines here and here represent yesterday's high and low. If we gap up above certainly the high of this candle or the close of this candle, we're immediately in play for the 10 EMA strategy. So again, we're going to see a lot of similar looks here, right, to the market. So NVIDIA, bullish engulfing candle. Okay. Now, what do we have going on above here? So, we do anticipate moving bullish today, right? So the markets are pushing up. We will look for a bullish move on these. So what do we have to be looking out for? So we have the 10 EMA on the daily chart sitting right above here, right? So that's, you can see right here, we broke through it slightly here, and then it got right to it on this candle here and got rejected. So, but we are at this point making higher highs and higher lows, right? So you can see here, here we have a higher low here, we have a higher high, higher low, higher high. So we are stepping up right now. So not surprised that it got up here pre-market, pulled back. Here's the current point of control, but look at all the volume that's going off here just pre-market, right? So that's obviously a very important level that we'll be watching. Again, looking at the daily chart overhead, what do we have? So this heavy blue line right here, that is the monthly 50. So something that you want to be aware of, sitting at like 124.30-ish, 33. I don't know if that's the exact level or not. But yeah, I guess it is 124.33. Then we have here this is the daily 20 here. So 10, 20 on the daily, monthly 50 here. So we do have some overhead resistance. Just keep that in mind. You want to have those on your chart. So if we were to break out of here and go bullish, right? Clearly this would be a target, right? So whatever your setup here is, if you go bullish on an NVIDIA, just be aware of this 50, because you want to certainly have that as a profit-taking area, right? Ideally, if you get a setup, you would want that to be, you would not want if you're going for your 1.2, 1.4 R, you wouldn't want that up here, right? You would want to try to get that a setup where that's going to occur before you hit this, because likely it will hit this and roll back down. Now, again, doesn't mean it won't get back above that, but in terms of planning, you want to know where that level is. Let's see. Again, down here on the RSI on the daily here, right? So we do have, if you look here, back in here, we were oversold, right? We're hanging around, oversold again right here, right? Oversold. Now, when you look at this candle making this new low, and you look here, and we are above the oversold line, right? You can see that clearly right there. So again, bullish divergence showing up here on the RSI. Okay, Chad says, when you get a chance, please share the volume profile settings you use on the left chart on Thinkorswim. Okay, Chad, I'll pull them up real quick. And can you just do a screenshot? So as I pull them up, do a screenshot on your computer. Is that cool? Okay, let's do that real quick. Okay, so do a screenshot of this right here, Chad, and I'll move this down. Screenshot. The key things here that you want to look at are on expansion. No. So on mine, I like to have my my volume profile starting here on the left. So this is a key thing to click on that, right? Otherwise it's over to the right. I like it to the left. So on expansion is no. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this so you get all those settings. Make sure that you have these just show study. The rest of these are not checked. If we go down here, point of control, okay? So point of control, all of these will be checked off. And then you can do whatever you want here, the color, the width of it, right? That's just this red line right here, right? Profile high, I don't plot that. I don't plot the profile high. I don't plot the profile low, okay? Again, if I'm going too fast, tell me, but so just screenshot these. And then the value high value area, right? Make sure all these are checked, and you would do the same thing on the value low, right? again, whatever color you want, but that is the yellow lines here, right? So you have the value high and then the value low. Again, make sure all these are checked off. All right. So that's all the settings I have. So were you able to capture all that? Yeah. So Gina, point of control. Okay. You're welcome, Chad. Okay. Let me cancel all this. So, so Gina, real quick, crash course on volume profile. Okay. So, volume, price action, right? Two leading indicators. They're the only two leading indicators that you have, meaning they don't require there to be historical data or something to have happened in order for them to update. It's real time. It is, you could trade off of just volume and price action alone, right? So here you have, the volume here. And what this shows you is just the amount of volume, right? The amount of volume, but it doesn't tell you the levels of where that volume happened, okay? So then when you look at here, you go, okay, well, there was a lot of volume here. And you look at how many, millions of shares were traded, right? You can look at that just as an overall number. What the volume profile does is that gives you the volume levels, but as they relate to price, okay? So point of control, the POC, the point of control is the area where the most volume has gone off. Okay, so pre-market here, you can see this red area right here. This red area is the point of control in this red line, right? The hard red line there, okay, right here. That is the point of control. So you can see clearly how far these extend out, right? So the farther that these extend out, the more volume. You see back here, these clusters right here don't extend out that far. So much less volume here, much less volume here, but then here you get this real big extension here, you get another extension here, and then the point of control. So you can clearly see that that is the area where the greatest amount of volume has gone off. Okay, and how do you use that? Well, you can look at that as support and resistance. Another way of examining and looking at support and resistance. Look down here, see how, right, there's almost no volume back in here at this price, but there's a lot of volume here. Okay, so think of it as where, that's where the buyers and sellers have come together. Yeah, you can take a screenshot of anything you want. Feel free. So, Darian, so I'll do this one more time, but then I got to get to all the others. But Darian, be ready. Can you do a screenshot, right? So that you can just do screenshots of my settings. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at it again real quick. Sorry, if we get a chance, can we see the indicator again? Albert, you talking about the volume profile? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And look, again, this is the toss setting. Yeah, I'm going to do it right now, Albert. So Darian, no, I'll just do it right now. Pull it up. Look, this is the point of when we slow things down on Friday, right? Even if we, we don't get to all the, going through all the tickers, right? That's the idea of doing this on a Friday, is that Fridays are slower in general. Anyway, we want to give you as much attention as we can to address all these questions. Okay, so volume profile. I'll go back to the study. Volume profile. Okay, so go ahead and get a screenshot of this. Okay, so Albert, if you can take a screenshot. Darian, okay, so this is the main set. Again, I was pointing out, make sure that, like, if you want your volume profile over here on the left, make sure that this is set to no. Pay attention to what is checked off or not checked over here. So you have all these settings here. And then, so that is for the inputs, okay? Inputs and options. And then down here, you don't have to go to globals at all. Just this area here. So under plots, okay, you have point of control, POC, point of control. Again, make whatever width you want. If you want a solid line, if you want a dash line, whatever you want. I made mine the width on it 2, just so it's a little thicker, easier to see. I'm old, so it helps me to be able to see it on my chart. Make sure that all of these are checked for your point of control. Profile high, profile low, I do not use. So just uncheck to show plot, and it won't even show up here. Okay. And then value high and value low, you want all of these checked off. Okay. So again, screenshot it. You want all of these checked off. Do whatever color you want. Again, whatever width. And that's going to be the same as the value low, right? So I use the same color. Again, it's going to plot, you'll see it's going to plot it. So I have a yellow line at the top, yellow line at the bottom, showing me the value high, value low. And then again, all of these are checked off. And Thomas is throwing some additional information in there. Okay, cool. All right, let's move on. Let's go through. We got a few minutes. Let's go to Tesla. Yeah, Thomas is saying key things of the day. Yeah, so this is, I'm looking at, this is just a 5-minute chart, right? So that's going to develop throughout the day, okay? And then obviously the more important level with any trading, the higher the time frame, the more reliable, right? So the point of control on the daily level is really the things that you want to be paying attention to, right? Or maybe, so I'll throw this up here real quick, right? So if you look here, right? So here I have point of control 1 hour, 30-minute, right? So I pay attention to those, right? So I pay attention to the higher time frame point of control, so to try to find levels where I expect price to, either find support or find resistance, right? So you have on the 1 hour from yesterday, here's the point of control here. You have point of control here, point of control here. If you look here, right, we are bumping up against, right? This clearly was a strong point of control in terms of providing support. Look at all the times it tried to break through here to get below this level, right? And it held all through this day, right? Then it broke, okay? And then so right now, if you look here, right? So this level here, the bears finally took over. So here the bulls were holding it, but they couldn't take it higher, right? So it's a strong battleground, right? Looking again at the 1 hour chart, right? So strong battleground, bulls could not take it higher, right? They tried, but the bears were too strong. So you're looking and going, okay, lots of bears were there. They're fighting. Then finally, look what happens here. The bulls try one more time to push up and to get above this level. And think about this. At one point, that would have been a nice, big, strong, bullish candle the first hour on this day. But bear stepped in, pushed, and then look what happened, right? Then finally, all the bulls said, okay, we're giving up, we're going away. The bears step in, and then they drive price down. So what you have to be thinking about now, okay, is we already just established that this level right here was a strong level of where there was just a battle going on, and the bears won it. So now we're back up to it, right? The question is, are the bears going to defend this area now and push price back down, right? So clearly this was a strong area where the bears got in and then drove price down. Are they going to be there again now? Okay. Then I look at something like this, okay, and I see this candle here, so the bears push us down, comes down, then we gap down. But then look at this candle. When I look at this and I go, okay, that candle, which is not a strong bearish candle, right? It's a indecision candle. It's got long upper wick, lower wick, right? Very small body, right? Look at that volume. Okay, look at that volume, tons and tons and tons of volume. Look left. This volume is greater than any other volume that we can see on the chart right now, right? The last several days. But it didn't go lower. Price held. So what does that mean? Well, to me, I look at that and I think, okay, that's exhaustion selling, okay? The bears tried. There was a ton, you can just see here, lots of selling, big volume. But price didn't go lower, right? They couldn't force price down. And in fact, again, you look at the RSI here and you have a bullish divergence. So the question, then you look at that and go, okay, looks like the market's opened. Yep, markets are open. Okay, so you look at this and you go, when you analyze it, you go, okay, well, all that bearish volume and price didn't go lower. So you could, and I do look at that and go, okay, it's likely to be exhaustion selling, capitulation, whatever you want to call it, because all that bearish volume and it couldn't go lower and then it went higher. And if you look here, this level right here, right, that we were just talking about, that needs to hold, that if the bears are really going to keep price down, they have to defend this. And what are we doing? We're gapping above it, right? So we're gapping above that level, right? So we're looking at an hour, that's the hourly forming right now. So the market's open. Not sure why my volume on my computer isn't playing. Wait a minute, speakers. Hourly forming right now, so the market's open. Okay, there we go. I just changed the setting. You can still hear me okay? Yeah, okay, good, thanks. I just changed the setting and then I realized maybe, hopefully I didn't mess up my, the audio part of it. Okay, so clearly, again, we're now gapping above that level. So this right here, right, you look and this level was providing support, then it broke. So now we got up here, yesterday, and that level was resistance, but now we gapped above it. So now what do we expect? We will now expect this level now to act as support again, right? Just like it did all through here. Like if you look here, you can clearly see this level of support here on the 1 hour chart. Okay, so we would expect this area to now provide support, right? Because it was support back in here, and then it became resistance, and now we're above it. So, all right, let's go into let me go back to that other chart here. Okay, so Tesla. Okay, so we clearly are gapped. So we are technically in play with Tesla right now, 10 EMA strategy. I've got to get caught up here on just looking at everything. We'll do that quickly. Let's see. Let's go back to NVIDIA real quick. I'm going to go through all of our 10 EMA plays real quick. Again, I'm on the 5-minute chart right here. I will switch it over in a second, but I just want to see. Okay, so NVIDIA, right? We gapped above the the close from yesterday. So we're in play on NVIDIA. We're in play on Tesla. Now, I forget who was asking before about the this candle and do we expect a retest? And I said, yes, I would expect a retest, right? That's what's happening right here. How much of a retest? Well, hard to say, right? We won't know until it's done happening. But if you throw on some Fibonacci's, okay? So if you look, I'm just using the Fibonacci's here, just on yesterday's candle, right? And I said before, maybe a 20 to 30% retracement. Well, here we are. Here's the 23.6 level right there, okay? Can we go lower than that? Sure, absolutely. Like I'm watching the markets are selling off right now. So somewhere between 20, 30% is typically what I expect to see. So maybe somewhere down around on NVIDIA, maybe in here, right? Now, could just bounce off the 23.6, right? We go over here to the 5-minute, that line that I just drew was right here. Yeah, that's a pretty big bearish candle, right? So I would expect, we have another minute before that candle closes. I would expect off of that kind of candle, it's going to go lower, right? So it's going to go lower, but now maybe the next candle might end up pushing way down here and then get bought up and form some type of a hammer, right? We'll just keep an eye on it. But as you can watch, watch this, watch the volume profile right here, right? Watch how that's developing in real time. And you can clearly see that, this, right? Here was the most volume that went off. And see how that point of control just flipped, right? That just moved while we're looking. So now this, that this is a battleground right now, right? Point of control just flipped. And again, this is the 5-minute chart, right? But it does give you an indication on the smaller time frame, what's going on. And so right now we're below the point of control, but you can just see how much volume just went off at this level. So could we push down here? Yes. Watch the point of control. If the point of control doesn't move with it, let's say if we push down here, right? The point of control, keep in mind, that's the area where the most people came together already today and said, okay, we're in agreement on price. So when it pushes down here, if the point of control doesn't move, likely it's going to then come back up, right? So if the point of control holds here, right, and it pushes down and the point of control isn't moving with it, then there's not an agreement on price. So it will likely come back up. All right, so we know that NVIDIA is in play, Tesla's in play. Let's look at Amazon real quick. I can type. Okay, Amazon also in play. Okay, so we gapped up above, and we actually gapped up above the high from yesterday. So that's a nice gap here on Amazon. All right, let's take a look pre-market. Right, so we got a and if you look here, right, point of control is holding right here. So this is not a 10 EMA strategy. This I'm just going to share with you one of my strategies that I like to play is, if you notice here, right, again, we're still on a 5-minute chart. I will switch over to the 3-minute, I promise. But this is not a 10 EMA strategy, just sharing with you another strategy that I like. So if I see a gap up, right, clearly you see we got a gap up here, and the first 5-minute candle is bearish, take that long. Okay, so that is a trade that I've been playing for years. Okay, so again, gap up, first 5-minute candle bearish, you can just go long above that, stop below it. All right, so Amazon's in play. Let's go to, we didn't get the chance to look at Delta. I didn't get a chance to, so Delta, really nice gap. Now, pay attention, right? Where did it gap to, right? Nice gap up on Delta, and it gapped right to the daily 50, right? So, and then you have this is the daily 100 here. So you have to keep an eye here. Like, this is not where I would be looking to go long on Delta, right? Because it gapped right to the 50. If you look here, right, look at the developing volume profile here on the 5-minute chart, right? Here's the point of control, but this is like a wall. See how far this is sticking out here, right? This big, huge, gigantic cluster of volume. It's like a wall, right? Delta's gonna have to get above that. And the high of that 31.91, 31.71 is where the 50 is. So you can clearly see a lot of resistance here. And again, so that's one way to analyze the volume profile, is the farther that these extend, the greater. So you can look here on this candle, right? High wave candle, it got rejected right here. That's holding it back. So this is like just a wall that it's up against, right? Even though the point of control is down here, you still have to battle through this, okay? Now, if it gets up there and you watch the point of control flip and move up here, it's a good look, okay? Then you can be more comfortable with going bullish. But this is not the area where I would look to go bullish right now on Delta. I would need to see it get through that level with some strength, and then you could let's say it. And again, not 10 EMA strategy. I'm just talking in general terms right now. Okay, but if it were to get above here, there. Okay, so we just had that volume control flip. You see that? So wait for it to get above here, right? Again, not a 10 EMA strategy, but this would be, if you can get a strong close, the dark blue right here, that is the daily 50 over here, Albert. I think that's one you're asking about. Yep. So daily 50. So I use the same colors on every time frame. So this is the daily 50. This is the 50 on the 5-minute chart, right? So you can still see there's just a battle going on here. I would need to see a strong close above this level here. Okay. Then you could look to get in on this on a retest. So what I would be looking for is some type of an S curve, right? Push above here, right? You get strong close above this level. You know that this level there's a lot of resistance here. Get a strong close here, look for it to S curve, then go up, right? Let's see, what else am I missing? All right, let's, I think we could switch this over to a 3-minute chart. Actually, well, so by the way, so let me just quickly mention, I'm sure there's a number of you here who are using the funded account. I'm using the funded account as well. What I've found that trading delta on the funded account is challenging because you have limits, lot size limits on the funded account. And typically with delta, when I throw in my entry and my stop, the lot size that generates ends up exceeding the limitation for the funded account. So I've not been actively trading delta in the funded account. And then Roblox and Airbnb are not even offered in the funded account. But we can take a look at those real quick. Take a look at Airbnb. Okay, so again, similar look right here, right? So you got a gap up and it gapped right to a target, right? So keep in mind that that blue line on the daily is the 50, right? So that would have been a target for me. So when something gaps to a target, already trades to that target, likely not going to be trading that, okay? Because it's already here. I would have to see, again, just like we were just talking about with Amazon, a strong close right above this level. You can just see like that ran into a wall right here, right? Just got completely rejected here. So I would need to see that level get taken out. So it's gonna battle this 50, right? And that's where we're at right now. Take a look at Roblox. Right. So a little bit different look here, right? Roblox. You get this gap up. Now it gapped above. This is the daily 100. Okay. So that gives me a different idea in terms of, can I go long on this? And the answer, well, yeah, because it gapped. This should now provide support, right? So it gapped above the 100. You have the 50 here. So that will be a area that I'll be targeting. Okay, if I'm gonna be, and again, this Roblox and Airbnb are not traded on the funded account, so I can't trade it with the funded account. So, but if you were to trade it in a regular account, here's this 100 should provide you with support, right? So we're right down on top of that right now. So you would be watching this level, okay, watching this level to see if this holds. Right. And what I would do is if I were going to trade this, right, drop in a line. Okay. So that, let's get the level for this, the 100 is 38.14. So I would put a line there, edit 38.14. Right. The color I use for my 100 is this light blue, right here. And drop that on there, and you see that automatically goes over to my lower time frame chart, right? So that's how I'm going to add my lines, so that when I'm into a 5-minute chart, or if I go to a 3-minute chart, I'll be able to see that level, right? So that's a key level right now, right? That has to hold. Now, if you look at here, Roblox, right? 3-minute, here's the volume profile. Again, the point of control is up here. So watch for this potentially to provide support. And if the point of control hangs out up here and doesn't shift down here, then you might get this retracement back to it. Okay. So again, right now with the point of control, so also look here at the, and again, I have the pre-market on right now. So if you turn it off, you might get it. Let's just see here. I'm curious. So around 38.62. Let's turn off the pre-market real quick. Okay, so I just want to point that 38, no, so it's the same. Okay, I wasn't sure if that would switch at all. Okay, so pre-market on, pre-market off, it's the same. But you can see here, right, when you're looking at, again, here's this large area of volume, right? And we're down below it, but the point of control is not shifting with price. Okay, so you just want to watch this level here. Maybe we'll get a nice little well, I don't know, I'm watching the markets over on a different screen. The markets are selling off. But if you were to watch it, if point of control holds up here, and then you get a nice hammer candle here, well, then that would be an indication to me for a bounce. Okay, and then you would be looking for a price to get back up here. So again, this is the value. This yellow line here is the value area low, and then the one up here is the value area high. And when you get down here, like, you just think of it. I mean, this is based on the value high and value low. It's like, this is a bargain price, right? And we're down below that. This is, again, where all the buyers and sellers came together and said, this is the price that we like, right? So pay attention to how this forms. Let me just switch screens real quick. Let me go over to here, right? So, I'm as I'm talking to you and I'm looking at this one chart, I'm also watching the markets over here, right? So you got this markets open. We got a nice bullish candle. Let's see, we're open 15 minutes now. Yeah. So nice bullish candle, but then we sold off, right? So again, the selling here, right? Is it really bearish or is it just profit taking, right? And so we don't know, but we can, for sure, but we can look at, and we know that a gap up, a retest gap, you do expect it to retest. So not shocking that you do get some selling and that price comes down. So all you're looking for now is some type of a signal, reversal signal. Okay. You could throw on here, you could throw on the S&P. Again, this is a 5-minute chart here of the right. You could throw on a trend line here, just based on these two pivots right here, right? Just on a 5-minute, and just see if this holds, right? Same thing over here, right? Same thing on the Nasdaq. So when you do a trend line, you just need 2 points. You just need 2 points at a minimum. More is better, but the market's just open, so we don't have a whole lot to go off of, a whole lot of data. But throw on the trend line just off of those, couple of candles, and let's see if this level holds. Right? Can it bounce out of there? So price breaking through this trend line, right? It doesn't mean that trend line's broken. Price can go through a level. It's not confirmed to have broken that trend line until price closes below that level and continues to go down in this case. So we'll just watch these and just see if we can get some type of a hammer candle forming here. We go back to, right? So roadblocks here, right? So we know that we're down below the 100 here, right? Now, again, price can get below it. You got some buying coming in here, right? The volume's picking up here, right? But you still have the point of control. This is a 3-minute chart. The point of control is not shifted down. So just be aware of that. So that means that, buyers and sellers, still, this is the key area here, right? So can price get back up into there? Let's see. Let's go back to a couple of our other I'm just looking at the chat. I'm going to go up. Thomas was saying, I'm just going back to Thomas's comments about the point of control. I'll just read Thomas's comments in case anybody missed it. Thomas was saying VPOC in the value area don't need to be on the top part and bottom part. So what else was he saying? And by the way, Thomas is like, I'm pretty good at Thinkorswim. Thomas is a genius when it comes to Thinkorswim. If you ever have any questions about Thinkorswim, he's the guy. So Thomas was saying key things are day. Yep. And the on expansion, which we talked about. No spaces in the name, though. I'm not sure what that was referring to. So anyway, but let's see. NVIDIA. Let's take a look at where we are. Okay. So, NVIDIA, I threw in this, the Fibonacci retracement tool right here, right? So again, we're looking for, where are we going to bounce, right? And I was saying, again, I wouldn't be shocking to see this come down 20 to 30%. Now we're exceeding that, okay? So, and the markets are, well, at least the Nasdaq is breaking through that trend line that I drew. We'll have to wait and see if it closes strongly below that. So this could easily just keep retracing, right? This could just be a day of selling, profit taking. So this would be more of a retracement than I would necessarily expect. Now, could it come down to the 50 here and bounce? Sure, right? Again, I'm just basing that off of like the 50 and the 61.8 are the levels I normally look at for a retracement. So now, that said, I don't mean on a candle like this. When I see a candle like that, and I think very strong candle, maybe 20, 30%. I'm talking about like if I over here, okay, if I was looking for some type of retracement on this move, right? So if I was looking for retracement, if we went back to yet here, and I said, okay, where will price come to? If I threw on my fibs here, right, I would be looking on this move at a 50%, possibly 61% retracement. Now that didn't hit it, right? Because yesterday was such a strong day. But normally that 50%, 61.8. So Tony, yeah, so the 61.8 is really kind of that area where, yes, if it gets below that. Now, I kind of have a different opinion. So Tony, if you look here, if I expand this up, see this 66% right here. And Tony, I don't know if I actually did I did a workshop and I was talking a lot about Fibonacci. Here's what this 66% is really the level yep. So again, so if you think about Tony, everybody, all of us, right? The retail traders, those of us who are not, trading for a large institution, right? We all know 61.8, right? Because that's what everyone's taught. Everybody is taught that, any, course that you take on trading Fibonacci's, they all talk about 61.8, 61. So we all know it, right? Well, then the institutions go, well, all these retail traders out there whose money we want to take are using 61.8. So, again, this is just what I've been told from institutional people, is that 66 is a level that they look at. And then if you get down below, it's certainly down here at 78.6. Yeah, we're looking at a reversal, right? But it can get down here to that 66% level and still be in the trend could still be intact, right? Trend isn't necessarily broken at that point. All right, let me go back here. So what's interesting here, okay, is on the S&P, right? So S&P held this trend line here. We broke below it. We closed below it technically here, but look at that. That's not a strong candle, right? So when I look at that, I go, okay, well, is this trend line broken? Well, yeah, okay. So Tony's saying he just added the 66 level to his fib default. Yeah, you can do that. If anyone's not sure, I'll show you that in a second. Let me just finish my thought here. So this candle here, okay, that is not, so here, this candle, we broke below that trend line, right? And we closed back above it. This candle, okay, yes, technically it closed below that, but I look at that trend line and go, okay, well, it's broken. No, I don't, because that's not a strong bearish candle, right? Long lower wick, long upper wick, right? That's still, I look at that as indecision, right? That doesn't show me that it's a strong bearish candle, okay, and that trend line's broken. No, price can get below and close below that level. You have to then analyze the strength or weakness, however you want to look at it, of the candle, right? Now, we also now have our, this shaded area here is my opening range. So it's a 30-minute opening range indicator that I have. And why is that important? Well, that just shows me that is the first 30 minutes of the market that is establishing the high and the low. And a lot of people who trade the opening range will now look at that and go, okay, if it can break above or break below, that's the direction that we are looking at for the day. So key levels, right? And then if we bounce out of here, right, we could get back up here about to the 50% range, come back down, and today we could just chop around. So with the opening range, you're just looking at that to indicate a direction. And if it's just going to trade within that opening range, you're going to get a lot of chop, and you want to be quick on your exits, right? Profit taking. You're not going to be expecting huge moves if you get into something on a intraday, like a 3-minute, trade, 5-minute trade, something like that. Because until we get a strong indication of direction, we can just chop around. And Fridays for me anyway, I find Fridays are a day where you get a lot of chop. Fridays are not my favorite day to trade. Let's just say that. All right, let's go to turn this back on. So we're hanging out down here at this 38.2. Let me change let's go back here. Okay. So we're hanging, we're still, it's not broken yet, right? I mean, it could, again, as I mentioned, it could get down here into the 50. Now, again, I don't typically wouldn't expect it with this kind of a strong candle, but that is an important level. And that doesn't mean, this 50 to 61.8, price can still get there. And it doesn't mean that we're now bearish. It just means that is the retracement. Still watching the markets over here on that other screen, the screen that we were just looking at, just to see what we do down here at the low end of the opening range. I think we have Dan coming on in 1 minute. He'll be taking over. Just get a sip of water here. Let me change my screen. I'm going to show you. Well, you can see, I don't know if this is showing right here, but you can see these are all the screens I have, right? So I'm just going to switch. I don't know if that is actually showing up on the on your view, but so these are all the different screens that I can go to that I'm utilizing. So if we go to screen 2, here you can see, I've got this, multiple charts. Here's all of the tickers that I'm keeping an eye on. So we have NVIDIA here, right? So, and again, I have this, okay, so we just broke the opening range. Okay. So markets just plunged through that opening range and did so with a lot of bearishness. So, let me switch real quick just because this is happening real time. Okay. Watching here, right? Now, again, this candle hasn't finished for me. You have to wait for the Oh, Jay saying the consumer sentiment number. Okay, so that just came out. Hector saying UK news. All right. So yeah, so we'll have to just watch right now. Again, broke through here, right? Now, again, 1 point big bearish candle. We got to wait and see how this candle closes, right? It's the candle's got to finish forming before you can actually look at that and analyze what's going on, right? What if this ends up being just a huge hammer candle and then it just comes out of here? So you got to wait till the candle closes. Let's see.
What's up, buddy? It's not Danny, but
Dan is
maybe second best.
Johnny's logged on. I'm not sure if it's
Can you hear
Johnny
me?
or Dan supposed to come on at 10. I think somebody's supposed to come on at 10.
Can you hear me?
Give me 1 second here.
Hello.
Oh, no,
Anybody
I can't hear
there?
Johnny. Oh, wait, you know what? Here.
Steven.
There you go. I muted. Hang on a second. Let me change my
Hello.
Yep.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can
Okay.
you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yep. You know what? I did change my a couple settings here. I
problem.
muted the way it was set up before. I was listening to myself talk and it was driving me nuts. So I muted my I muted. So I was getting that, oh wait, you know what? I never stopped the live share. Hang on a second.
Yeah, I meant to tell you, I just noticed you have the live.
You know what? Good. YouTube gets a lot of extra time with us today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So
it's Freebie Friday, man.
there you go. Freebie Friday. I love that.